Hi, I'm Marko Antisaari, CEO and co-founder of Dopplr, and I'm informing Informilo.
Thanks, Marko, for agreeing to be interviewed. Please tell us a little bit about how the company is evolving.
Dopplr, as you may know, was started 2 years ago, based on the single idea of sharing future travel privately with the people you trust, and then the service would highlight coincidences, serendipity. So it'd say, you're going to Barcelona, these people will be there too, and then it would allow you to meet up in the physical world. So it means less evenings alone in the hotel room with room service and Facebook and the inbox, and more meeting real people in the real world. And over the last 2 years, we've amassed a group of the world's most frequent travelers, smart travelers, we like to
And some of them have actually invested in you, I believe, right? Like
absolutely.
Esther
Dopplr's uniquely funded by its users, angels Esther Dyson, Martin Wasowski, Reid Hoffman, Lars Hinrichs, Joey Ito, among others, Tom Gloser of Thomson Reuters, Tyler Brûlé, founder of Monocle magazine. So these were people that are using the service, found interest in it and the kind of data it was creating. And it's a very international community. It has the most international social graph of any social tool online. Over half the people that have a connection or share travels on Dopplr share with somebody in another country. And on public record, I've heard other networks, even professional networks, it's around a third. So it's a very international group, half from Europe, a third from the States, and the rest from the rest of the world, and with Europe and the rest of the world growing quicker. Still, it's very much, the destinations are London, New York, San Francisco are the top destinations. Helsinki's in there, so is Barcelona. And then there's a very long tail of destinations, but we take this idea of coincidence quite loosely, so if you're in a small town next to London and you're close by, we'll alert you to the fact that a friend is in Cambridge.
So what's the revenue model?
I think the key right now is we're really evolving the company, first of all, in terms of value to users, to what we call the social atlas. And the basic idea with the social atlas is, in addition to saying where you will be, you can also, in a very lightweight interaction, mark good places around in the world, in cities around the world, places to eat, stay, and sort of unique, little-known places to explore, the local cafe, the local bookstore, and so on. And this social atlas becomes visible to your network, and we then aggregate this knowledge. The travel patterns of the most frequent travelers in the world inform Dopplr of what is good. It's a kind of a new pop charts for cities of the world. So you see what are the places I should stay, eat, and with fresh data all the time. Now, this then brings you to the revenue model. So the basic idea is already live on the site. We're a lead generation site. Every time you mention a hotel, you can likely book it through Dopplr. So in London, it would be the Zetter Hotel. You book it, we make commissions on all those bookings through our hotel affiliate partners. But more interestingly, I think the data itself of the social atlas will form the basis of a subscription product to world travelers around the world. It's a new way of doing city information advice, travel advice, but done in a way that is social and algorithmic. It takes the patterns of the world's most frequent travelers and turns it into valuable data.
Okay, great. So you just developed an iPhone app. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I think critical to the social atlas is that you can use Dopplr while you're traveling. So the iPhone app, which will be live next month in the Apple store, it's basically the social atlas in your pocket. You open it up, and if you want to see where the travelers on Dopplr stay, where they've been and what they've liked, you see it right away. And if you want the full Dopplr experience, you can join. And basically, it's like a social phone book. You see where everyone is traveling right now. This person is right now in Tokyo, where the time is this, plus where you will overlap with them next. So it's a real, it puts together the total package, and anytime you're somewhere good, something you'd like to share, we think positively, right? So you should enter places that you think would be worthwhile to your network. You just mark it. You say, I've been here, and if it was especially good, you tap it twice, and then it's part of the atlas and spreading.
So how long ago did you launch this?
The social atlas was rolled out quietly this spring, and today in Barcelona, with our Barcelona release, we marked a kind of milestone in the sense that now people can not only mark places that are already in the database, but you can also add your unique finds to the database. So you can add places that become part of the platform that then other people can say, oh, I've also been there. And that's important. And the iPhone app, we're really looking forward to that.
Okay, great. Now you worked for Nokia for jumping into this new role. What's it like going from a big corporation to a startup?
I think different companies have different cultures, and I think I would say that the Nokia culture is very entrepreneurial. So it's a very decentralized, self-starting culture, and so I think the biggest perhaps change is you need to really do a 360 in the business. So you need to learn very quickly and looking, okay, this is marketing, this is sales, this is customer support, and that kind of holistic view you very rarely get in a large organization. So I think that's the biggest thing. You have to kind of become good enough and find good enough people to fill those roles, and especially early on, Dopplr is a small team that has done great things so far, but you need to find ways to do it creatively with very little resource and people, and do that. But I think fundamentally, every time you build something, it's about building culture.
We're here at a conference in Barcelona where that gathers something like 6,000 Spanish entrepreneurs, and we heard this morning from some very successful European entrepreneurs. Does this make you optimistic about starting companies in Europe, keeping companies in Europe?
It does. I think the kind of positive energy and reinforcement that's here is important, because one of the things starting companies is you can be quite alone. So to constantly have a conversation, get feedback, both critical and supportive, but know that I think that's important. I do think there are structural challenges with starting companies that Europe can still do better at. How quickly can you set up companies, hire people, flexibility with employment, hiring and firing, but making everything open. But I think we do need to innovate structurally to make early phase starting of companies possible better. I think Martin Wasowski's suggestion here that you could start an entrepreneurial zone which would have slightly different rules from which a company could then graduate out. I think it's a great idea, and other countries, I'll take it back to Finland, to the politicians there.
Okay, that sounds good. You said an interesting thing this morning when you self-addressed the conference. You said some people believe that social networks can only be launched in Silicon Valley, and I guess you're here to prove that's not the case.
Yeah, I think there's certainly room to do social media, social utilities in a European way as well. I think these tools can be also easier to use. They can respect user rights to data and privacy better than their international competitors. I think there's a way of doing, I think, polite, privacy-respecting software that can still grow and be a business. And I tend to think that that's our approach to doing a European brand of social software.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.